Well, unemployment, inflation and the handling of the pandemic are fueling anger among Argentines as they head to the polls for midterm elections. President Alberto Fernandez and his Peronist party are in danger of losing control of Congress, which would make governing in the second half of his term even harder. His first 2 years saw the economy contract, with the jobless rate hitting double digits and inflation spiralling out of control. More than half of the country's children now live in poverty.
Groceries have become a big expense for many Argentines. Rising prices mean a trip to the supermarket is taking bigger and bigger chunks out of their paychecks. It's difficult to reach the end of the month with some money in the account or on the credit card because you just don't make it. And there's less if you have to pay rent, get groceries, and even less if you have children. It's like you need 2 or 3 salaries in a house to be able to sustain it. Inflation broke 50% this year, making it one of the highest rates in the world. Prices for daily items have gotten so bad that the government put a 90-day price freeze on 1,400 products, including food and hygienic items. Unions have taken to the street in recent weeks. Not only are they demanding better jobs with a wage that keeps pace with inflation, but many are angry that the government is prioritizing international debt reduction instead of raising the minimum wage. The situation we have today in working-class neighborhoods is that there is not enough money to make ends meet. We have soup kitchens full of people, full of neighbors who go there because they don't have a way to get food on their tables every day. We're talking about millions and millions of Argentines, millions of children in our country who can't afford food at the end of the month. The once rich country remains in a severe economic and financial crisis. Analysts point to the bloated state apparatus, low productivity, and a large shadow economy. Meanwhile, the peso is sinking and the mountain of debt is growing. Sunday's elections will show whether voters choose to empower or disempower their president's economic policies.
Mireli Blanco is 25 and mother to 4 sons. She lives in a poor neighborhood on the outskirts of Buenos Aires. Their family faces a difficult economic situation and can only support themselves with the help of a state grant, the equivalent of $300 a month. And Mireli is one of the lucky ones. In Argentina, 60% of all young adults have precarious or informal jobs.
I see politics as something dire, something corrupt. The current policy does not help us. A vicious cycle is being created of people who can't move forward.
But Mireli wants to change things. Every afternoon, the neighborhood children come over to her place and she gives them free snacks. This project is sponsored by a movement called Barrio de Pie, or Neighborhoods Standing Up. It is a fundraising initiative that has become a political factor in an ongoing struggle with the government. People want initiatives to help the country's poorest sectors. Ofelia Gongora is the coordinator in charge of the movement in the suburbs of the Argentinian capital.
We are doing what the government should be doing. If we were actually in power, we could change things. When I see how the candidates are fighting among themselves during these elections, I don't think it will be possible to move forward.
Argentina enters this election with rampant inflation hitting a high of 50% last year, and the economy has barely grown in a decade. When unemployment rises, the population becomes disappointed, especially younger people. They feel neglected and think all politicians are the same. They feel there is little reason to go out and vote. Mireli views this Sunday's election with despair. She doesn't believe politicians from either side can change the country. That's why she'll continue to organize community food. She says if the government doesn't help, She will. By doing this daily task, she feels she is doing her part for Argentina.